We're still looking for the head.
Can you look at the baby? Is that a beautiful little baby?
Yeah, embarrassing.
Is she wearing pink?
I thought I was.
Can you say hello to me?
It's really hard to believe that it's only been a little over 2 weeks since she was born. As most of you have probably heard, she decided to arrive during the one BC snowstorm. And once we made it past the fallen trees and the closed roads and the snowbanks, she arrived within 2 hours. So there was a little bit of initial craziness, but after that initial craziness, our transition to parenthood has really been remarkably smooth, and we really need to thank our parents for that. They've made sure that we've been well fed, that our clothes have been clean, that our harder, that we've stayed relatively sane, and we've been really able to focus on our needs. And we really can't express how much we appreciate everything you've done and how it's really helped us to get to this point. So, what do we want to say about this remarkable little person? Well, we could go on and on about how much bigger she's gotten, about every little coup that she has, but we'd really like to focus for now on how we got to her name, Yael Vered. In choosing her name, we really wanted to honor members of our family. And we'll admit we took a little bit of artistic license in coming up with the name Yael from the name Olga. Now, we really wanted a Hebrew name, and we did manage to find a 4-letter name that had half of the letters, Yael and Olga. But really, it's more important to us to focus on the virtues that we'd like to pass on. As Danny's grandmother Olga was a woman who survived the Holocaust and made a life for herself in both Israel and the United States, we hope that Yael can be as resilient and as caring as her great-grandmother was. For the name Vered, we used my great-grandmother's name, Vera, so the connection was a little bit closer on those. I was privileged to have my great-grandmother, my Bubby, in my life for first 18 years in my life, and she was really a caring individual who put family above everything else. And we hope that Yael can also be as caring as her great-great-grandmother was and also know the importance of family and those close to her. We've asked our parents to say a couple of words, and then we've asked Danny's a cappella group to perform a song. Again, thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. Please, afterwards, enjoy more brunch. We'll cut the cake in a little while. And Yaeli, we really love you, and we can't wait to watch you grow up.
Dear family, friends, Danny, Marissa, most of all, Yael Vered. There are many firsts, forgive me for reading it, but it's just a lot easier. There are many firsts in one's life, a select number of which we forever cherish and store in the engine rooms of our neshamas or our souls. Today, and this celebration, are one of those moments. Welcome, Yael. Brucha haba. Your name is very special to us, as it was given to you in memory of my mother, Olga, known to Danny as Savta Onyu in Hungarian. He never knew her real name. It was Onyu, which is mother. Her name, Russian in origin, I've come to learn over time means blessed, and she indeed considered herself as such, as from the ashes and the horrors of the Holocaust, she celebrated life and continuity of the Jewish people by creating a new family with my father, who also escaped from the Farhud in Iraq and lived in Israel. Yael, you are a blessing to Marissa and Danny as their first child, our first grandchild, my father's Saba Rabba, great-grandchild. And our blessing to you as we watch you grow and bring joy to us and Klal Yisrael is Yisimech Elohim Kesara, Rivka, Rachel, Veleah. May God make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Thank you all for coming.
Yes, it's my turn. So, as you heard, Yael's middle name is after my grandma Vera, who was one incredible lady. We were very close, and she was one of my absolute favorite people. Family was always very important to her, and she loved having us all together for holidays. all the family lived in the same city, so there were quite a number of us that were able to get together, which doesn't seem to happen anymore these days. We looked forward when we came to visit walking up on Shabbos, I don't know, 3-4 flights of stairs on Shabbos afternoon to have lunch with her and my grandpa and get caught up. And when we were ready to leave, even though we could have been there for 3 hours, 4 hours, my grandma would always say, "What's your hurry? Where are you going? Why do you have to leave?" Grandma Vera was so excited to hear from us each and every time we called. And she always asked about everyone in the family and what they were up to, and she truly cared about everything you had to say. She was also quite a balabusta, which hopefully Yael will inherit from her mommy and daddy. We're going through her old cookbook that Fred and I were able to take a look at, that I got from, actually from Andrea, Marissa's sister, who was trying to put it online. There were so many recipes that she was having trouble. We found a recipe for 3,000 potato mashes. Now, Fred looks at me and he says, "What am I supposed to do with this recipe? Do I cut it down to, I don't know, 1,500? Like, who's ever going to make 1,500 potato dishes?" But what she used to do is she would get a group of women together and she would do cooking for, it was called the Tamatora Ladies Auxiliary, and they would do fundraisers for the Hebrew school, and she loved cooking, and she would do the stretched dough. I remember her making strudel and stretching the dough on her special tablecloth from one end, and God forbid it should rip, and it was just, she did all these things that nobody ever does anymore. She was always very, very busy. Fred called our family a gastronomic family because it was always revolving around food, but that's what Jewish families do. It's okay. And she loved making, she'd made these amazing, that I'm sure Marissa remembers, these amazing poppy seed hamantashen that were like as big as like your head. I mean, they were like amazing. And she made a dozen for each of her 7 grandchildren, and then she would send them to the families. And so Fred and my grandma Vera would have this joke going that we would get our package of a dozen hamantashen, and Fred would call up and thank Grandma Vera for the hamantashen and say, where's everybody else's? I miss her a lot, and I always said, if I could be 1/4 as wonderful a Bubby to my granddaughter and the rest of my grandchildren that are to be someday, I would be a very special person. So Fred and I are very happy that she will be remembered through Bubby Vera.
Okay, and Danny's a cappella group, Makela, is, let me make sure I get this right, the premier Jewish young professionals a cappella group in DC. And we are honored to have them sing a song for us.
Samachti beomrim li Beit Adonai melech Omdot hayu ragleinu Yisharayich Yerushalayim Yerushalayim habnuya Ke'ir shechubra layatav Sheshamalu shivtei edut leIsrael Lehodot leshem Adonai Shalu shalom Yerushalayim Yishkanu avayim Yehi shalom lehem Shava be'amenotayim Lema'ancha be'yad Adabrana shalom bach Lema'an Beit Adonai Elokeinu Avat Shavach Lema'an Beit Adonai Elokeinu Avat Shavach
do for Yael 10 years from now, let's say?
I'm going to give a big kiss on the kepi.
That was like 10 seconds from 10 years down the road, let's say.
Giving her lots of hugs and kisses.
All right,
and
all
taking
right.
her to baseball game.
Would you say your life's completely different now that you're a grandpa? Are you sure?
Yes.
How's it completely different being a grandma?
Makes me smile more.